Boys, we have a part. So again, just sort of roughed, right? A couple of things I did differently here. It's kind of hard to tell. Let me see if I can, maybe this way you can tell a little better. Let's just show you the part. Not too bad. A hell of a lot better than that thing. So let's check the fit. That one side a little longer. So right there, let me show you how that looks in there. Right, so just like that. So pretty good fit, pretty happy with that. I think that's gonna fly in and out of there. So and let's just get a before and after real quick. So sort of something like this, right? That's crazy. That's crazy loose in there. So pretty happy with that. I didn't. Pretty cool. Now, this part gets a spring. The spring goes in here, and on the other side, there's an alignment pin. Now, what was being used before was just this little machine screw, right? So they had this in here like this. So when this drops in, right? Let's see if I can show you guys. It sort of finds its center, right? And then that just sort of goes on there. And then this goes over top of that. So, and it's gonna go like that, something like that, right? So it's spring loaded. So I think that the next part I'm gonna machine is just this little screw. Just gonna remachine something, an alignment pin for this, get rid of this guy. So just gonna try to find the inner diameter of this spring with the pin gauges. The screw they had in there had a really loose fit, so, oh man, that's pretty close. I want it to be tight, but I don't want it to be too tight. Oh, that's pretty good. 264. So that's a pretty good fit. That should slide real nice in there. So 264 thousandths it is. Pretty cool on the hard hinge chuckers. Let's see if I can show you. Have these really cool carriage stops. It's got 8 stations for each tool, and it just rotates to each tool. And you can set the depth. It's really, actually pretty nice. I didn't want to make it out of a piece of stainless though. I wanted it to be a little softer. And this is just hot rolled mild. Okay, so new part in the spring. Pretty dang good fit. Not too tight, not too loose, pretty good. So let's put this down in the hole. Oh yeah, that falls right in there. So let's see if I can show you guys this. It lines up perfectly. So when I was dropping that screw in there, it would be cattywampus, but you can see this thing like rights itself in there now. That's what you want. Let's put our spring on. Let's see how much. Oh yeah, okay, so that goes all the way in and it bottoms out, so there's no interference. So that's perfect. Okay, now we have to work on the, I don't know, finger, I guess is what I'm calling it. I don't know. But it's gonna be the thing that's gonna knock that sucker out. All right, guys, so just wanted to dry fit these parts and make sure they were gonna run right. So let's give it a try. Both of our new parts are in place. That's good. I have to pull the wheel back because this doesn't have the bevel cut on it yet for the finger to disengage it. But let's check the other side. All right. So those are running pretty good. All right, guys. So just going to use this 3/4 inch plate here to make this finger part. They started out with like 1/2 inch, and then I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but you can see that they added a plate here and welded it on, and I think they just built weld up on this side and then ground it all down. You can see how gnarly that is. So we'll make the solid piece, and with this piece it's gonna hook over past that spring-loaded part a little bit to give it a little stability. And I'm gonna mill this, I'm gonna mill a chamfer out of the thickness, and gonna try to run a roller bearing in there so that this doesn't constantly drag like this part has. So it'll at least be on a roller bearing on that new part we made. So yeah, this may be a complete fail. Like, I don't even know if this is gonna even work, but I think it's going to. I think it's gonna work well. So that'll be kind of like the last part. So I'm gonna go ahead and center punch this line and then cut it out with the torch. All right, guys, just got the part roughed out here. Here's what it's looking like so far. So I'd like to pocket out for this roller bearing somewhere in this general area, and then put a pin through that. This, unfortunately, is going to be a permanent part because I don't have a lot of clearance for a bolt and a washer on both sides. So I'm going to pocket here, make a pin with a shoulder that's going to butt up against it here, and then on the other side, I'll leave a little. I'll put the through hole for the pin, and then on the other side, I'll leave it a little shy and then fill that with weld, and then this will just be a permanent part. If this bearing goes bad, I'm just going to have to grind it. I'll just put a very little weld on the other side, so I'll just grind that out, pop the pin out, replace the bearing, but this should last a good long time, just running on that surface. So this will no longer just bear the weight all the time. It won't just be grinding this out all the time. It'll actually be rolling on a bearing now. Then once I get the bearing pocketed out, we'll get it dry fit on the machine, and then figure out how we need to pocket out here and put an angle that's gonna engage that spring-loaded pin to knock it out. All right, so just a quick look on the shear here. So you can see how this is gonna kind of be. So this is gonna be, that might be in the way. Trying to figure out. Okay, so so this is going to be held on by that arm. So this is going to be something like this. This portion right here is going to be pocketed out for that bearing, and that bearing is going to live inside there. So the bearing is going to be down here, and it's just going to roll on this part that we made. And then we have to pocket out here and cut a bevel that's going to touch this, this pin to knock it back out. So, but that's the rough fit. That's what it's looking like so far. And I appreciate you guys watching and leaving comments, and it makes it all worthwhile, right? So thanks, continue to watch and see what happens next.